Hello everyone out there, how are you all doing? I'm Kate Hill, bringing you the best unbiased and honest content on property, along with fantastic hints and tips. Stay tuned today for all your latest property news. The auction market is continuing to fire, chalking up an 8th consecutive week of national clearance rates above 70%. According to CoreLogic results, 74% of homes taken to auction last week sold, with Adelaide once again achieving the highest clearance rate. Sydney was next with a clearance rate of 79%, Canberra 72%, Melbourne 70% and Brisbane 67%. Auction activity across the smaller capital cities remains steady, with an increase in the number of properties offered for auction in the past week. While Adelaide may continue to achieve the highest clearance rates, Brisbane continues to have the highest number of properties offered for auction among the smaller capitals. The strong sales results keep coming despite the RBA continuing to increase interest rates to ease inflation. A lack of listings and increase in demand throughout the markets has resulted in further price growth, with the combined capital cities achieving median price growth of 3.4% in the past quarter. The price gap between houses and units is tipped to close further as lack of stock drives up prices. Before the pandemic, the Australian median house price was 11.5% higher than the median unit price. During the pandemic, the rush of buyers to larger lifestyle properties pushed that gap even further apart to 29.5%. Now, with shortages in both houses and units, PropTrack economists say that the gap will close substantially in the coming years and has already started in some markets. A lot of factors support growing demand for apartments, like shrinking family sizes and demographic changes, the sheer convenience of a unit, affordability, etc. At the same time, Australia's development pipeline is starting to slow, particularly for apartments. So that would imply that we are going to see that gap starting to close over the coming year. So what we are going to see surely is those apartment prices, which didn't show any movement, if not backwards, in a lot of markets for quite a long time, that they are going to start to increase. The global ratings agency Fitch is tipping 5% house price growth in Australia this year. Don't we just love a forecast? The growth is a revised prediction from its previous forecast of a drop in prices of up to 10%. Sound familiar? It also lowered its expectations of the level of mortgage arrears this year after taking into account the resilience of homeowners because of pandemic accumulated savings buffers. I've been saying it for months. The CBA Bank is also expecting growth up to 3% this year, 5% next year. It says Perth will be a standout market in 2024, with property values forecast to rise by up to 6%. Despite rate rises, the majority of buyers are still choosing variable rate loans, according to the ABS. In April, 95% of new and refinanced loans were variable. At the height of the pandemic, the variable loans dropped to 54% of the market. Shaw Financial senior credit advisors says that borrowers are taking a punt on interest rates dropping next year and don't want to be locked in. Owners and investors need not fear that their properties will lose value if the Australian economy tips into recession. History shows that even a recession won't result in massive drops in value. At the peak of the 1993 recession and the 2007 to 2009 global financial crises, property prices only dropped by 10%. Consecutive interest rate rises have done nothing to dampen enthusiasm from buyers, with many actively looking for homes, with a lack of supply driving up prices. The AMP Capital chief economist says that there is little evidence to suggest a property price crash is looming if there is an economic downturn in Australia. He says it is quite normal to see prices come down, but there is not much evidence of a crash unless you go back to the 1930s, and that was an extraordinary downturn and combination of events. But in the post-war period, there is no evidence of a crash in property prices just because you have an economic downturn or a recession. I will keep you posted as always on all things property from around Australia and sometimes from beyond. If you are enjoying all this fabulous free content, then please do subscribe. Give me a little like every now and then. I do really appreciate it. And I will see you all again really soon. Bye.